Hi guys, Paul Reese here, DPRS Unlimited, little guy helping the little guy get from where you are to where you want to be. Now, I had one of my Facebook friends, they asked me a question the other day, today, about how to advertise their small business. Now, I won't mention his name here because I don't know if he wants me to, but that's kind of a vague question. It goes into marketing, so the way to best help him out, I decided, was to create this short video series on marketing. So welcome to the first video of this video series. I hope it helps you and him out. And any questions you guys have, I'd love to see in the comments below. So, today's video we're going to be discussing what is marketing anyway. You know, getting to know marketing. So, marketing is the process of winning and keeping your customers, guys. It's the matchmaker between what you're selling and what your customers are actually buying. Now, it covers all aspects of meeting the desires of your customers. Okay, so that covers customer service, pricing, packaging, labeling, pretty much all encompassed when it comes to marketing. A lot of people leave a lot of things out about marketing and they only talk about advertising. Alright, so one quick tip on marketing that I want all of you guys to remember throughout the course of this video and throughout your marketing endeavors is that marketing is a two-way street, a communication between you and your customers, okay guys? It's not just talking at your customers, it's talking to your customers and getting their feedback. Alright, so it relies on that communication, guys, so make sure you're communicating with your customers. So what I'd like to introduce you to today is this first part of the series. Hopefully you can see all this. Let me make it a little bit darker in here. Alright guys, so hopefully that gets rid of a little bit of that glare it looked like. Okay, so anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is the marketing loop. Okay, hopefully you guys can see everything here. And what the marketing loop is, we'll just go and read through it, and we'll go through it a little bit more in detail right now, and then in other videos we'll go into it in extensive detail. Okay, so we got product and competitive research, product development, pricing, labels and packaging, distribution, advertising, promotions and PR, sales, customer service, and then you notice it connects right back, goes right back to the beginning again. Okay guys, so let's talk about one, product research and competitive research. What you're going to want to do is you're going to conduct research to get knowledge about your customers, about your product, your market area, and your competitors. Okay? Step number 2 is the product development stage. Okay? This is where you're going to tailor your product, your pricing, your packaging, and your distribution strategies to address your customers' needs, okay guys? You're going to want to meet, so in order to do that, you're going to address your customers' market environment and your competitive realities, okay? So all your competitors, what they're doing, what's the reality of their situation, and how can you compete with them? That all goes into the product development and pricing stage, okay? This is all kind of, I separate it to make it easier for you guys, but really it's all encompassing in one step. Your product development, you're going to tailor the exact product to your customer. Your pricing, you're going to tailor that to your customer. You know, if you're selling high-end or low-end items, you're not going to want to go advertise those to high-end customers. Same thing, you're selling high-end items, you're not going to want to go advertise those to people who are too broke to afford them. Labels and packaging, you want to make your labels and packaging meet what your customer expects. You know, if I'm buying a $100,000 object from you, I expect it to come in a nice pretty box, not a cardboard piece of shit that's wrapped uglily. You know, I mean, maybe that might be acceptable if you're selling a 10-cent object, but match your packaging to your pricing, guys, because if you don't, you know, your customer is going to get this thing and they're going to feel disappointed just because of the packaging. But on the reverse spectrum, if you're selling something cheap and, you know, kind of low quality and you put it in high packaging, it'll give a higher perception of value and your customers will be more likely to think that it's a good product even if it is not. Now, I don't recommend selling products that you wouldn't put yourself behind, but if you are doing that, that's one way to make it look better. Okay? Now, The next step in it is advertising, promotions, and PR. Now, here is where you're going to actually create copyright and advertising and your sales, your slogans, all those things, and you're going to put those into play. Make sure to tailor make your messages to reach your desired customers, guys. Again, that's why knowing your target demographic is important. I know we haven't talked about target demographic in this video, but in further videos we're going to talk about target demographic. So, excuse me. In this section is where you want to inspire your customers' interest. You usually do that by pulling on the heartstrings, emotions. If you notice TV commercials, they're not selling products, they're selling emotions. Pay attention next time, guys. And you want to move them towards a buying decision here. Okay? Next is sales. This is where you actually go for and close the sale. The customer's in front of you, they're in your online store, wherever they happen to be. This is the step where you're actually making that sale. Now, most people stop right here, guys, but not you, because you're smart and you're listening to this video right here, so you're not going to stop right there, are you? No. We're going to go on to the next step in the marketing loop, which is the customer service. Now, this is where you develop relationships with your customers and make sure that they know, like, and trust you. Okay? You also ensure fantastic levels of customer service. Okay, guys? That's your main goal with any business that you're doing, is to make sure that your customer service is beyond phenomenal. Because the reason for that is that develops three things. One, it develops repeat business. Okay, people are going to come back to you time and time again. Okay? Now, in addition to developing repeat business, people will come back to you time and time again. It develops loyalty. So, if another company comes out with a product very similar or even the same as yours, and it might be a little bit cheaper or it might be a little bit better quality, then your customer more likely will stay with you just because they're loyal to you and they know if they do have a problem or something does go wrong, that you're going to have the better customer service to fix that. So they'd rather go with you than going with the other option. And another thing, it creates one of the best forms of advertising, in my personal opinion, which is word of mouth advertising. Them telling their friends, go shop on this. They put it on their Facebook page. They put it on their LinkedIn page. They put it on their Pinterest page. They put it on their Twitter account, whatever it is, and say, this guy's fantastic. That brings you a lot more business, guys. That word of mouth, especially in nowadays and age with social media, is one of the highest payoff forms of marketing that there is, because think about it. You didn't pay a penny for that. All you did was treat that customer good. So the return on investment when it comes to treating your customers good is almost infinite. Alright, so I digress on that, and we move on to our, actually I guess we're still talking about customer service, which the next part, I didn't really kind of put it in here because I kind of ran out of room, as you can tell. But you want to interact with your customers and gain insights about their wants and needs. I guess it really does go back into the product and competitive research area, and which is why this kind of loops all together. So, what this is you're putting out surveys, you're asking questions to your customers while they're in your store. You're giving them a discount for maybe letting you know how they found you, whatever it happens to be. And again, you want to know these people the best that you possibly can, because the better you know your customers, the cheaper and more effectively that you can reach them. Okay, guys, excuse me. So, I'm getting a little thirsty here. Anyways, so with this, the better you know your customers, the easier you're going to be able to reach them, because if you know where they eat, you know where they shop, you know how they sleep, you know what times they're up, you know what times they go to bed, you know when they're at work, you know when they're surfing the internet, it's going to be easy to find them and get your message in front of them. If you have no idea about your customers, it's going to be really hard to find them and get your message in front of them. Okay? Now, you want to use their opinions, guys, on the surveys that you're giving them, questionnaires that you're giving them. Maybe you're shooting out a newsletter to them every once in a while and they're shooting you feedback. Maybe they just happen to email you or call you and complain. Make sure to use that feedback to improve either your product or customer service or your services that you offer. So that way the next customer that comes in is going to have an even better experience than that customer that you had. Now, anytime I get a complaint, no matter how frivolous it is, what I do is I look for that little nugget of truth, because no matter what, if somebody's complaining, usually the statistics on it show that every 10 people that have a problem, one person will complain. So that means for that one person that called you and actually complained, or emailed you and actually complained, there's 10 other people who probably saw a problem with that. So there is something there that you more than likely need to fix, okay guys? So decide what it is, figure out how you can improve it, and make it better. Even if that customer calls and you're like, that's a bunch of BS, they're just being a bunch of whiny babies. You know, they might be just being a bunch of whiny babies, but you can still use that complaint to make yourself even that much better. Make it so even those nitpickers can't find anything wrong with you. Okay? Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to combine all the knowledge from the research that you've been doing with your customers and all your market research for the area that your customers are going to be in and your target demographic, and fine-tune all the rest of this, your product. Again, retailer that product to match those customers. Redo that pricing. Maybe you discovered that your pricing was too high, or maybe you discovered that what more than likely is that 90% of the people find out that their pricing is actually too low and customers aren't buying because they perceive it as cheap. Your labels and packaging. Again, were you sending out ugly labels with nice products? Were you sending out nice labels with ugly products? You know, match those. Again guys, I would say even if you have an ugly product, a nice label, nice packaging, it makes all the difference. It makes your product look better. And then your distribution, you know, is your stuff being delivered at a time when they're not home and they have to go to the post office to get it? Is your store only open when they're at work? You know, these would be bad things. So make sure to use that pricing, use that research, go back over the marketing loop and do it all again. This is a continual process, especially as an entrepreneur or a small business owner. Continual process, guys. I cannot stress that enough. Alright guys, so I think this video's been long enough, so make sure to tune in next time. Our next video is going to be on the romance between sales and marketing. In other words, their relationship. And the basics of marketing a startup company. So if you have a startup, it would be a great video for you. And we're going to go over more things throughout this video series to explain this huge, gigantic thing called marketing in a little bit more detail. So again guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did like the video, make sure to hit the like button below. It really does help us out in the rankings. If this video was helpful to you, we do appreciate you sharing it to your friends. Again, it does help us out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you liked it and you want more quality content like this. Also, if you want to see more of my marketing series. And until next time guys, this has been Paul Reese. So make sure you're turning your passion into your profit.